The Know Your Gear podcast.
And I think that's how a song works. I love this song, so who created this song? This guitar player. I really love this guitar player. What does this guitar player use? He plays a Strat. Hey, Phil, my associate specific periods with particular guitar models, brands, 1954 to 19 Strat, 58, 59 Les Paul, 80 Charvel Jacksons. What do you think are the modern equivalent 2000, 2010s, 2020s Silver Sky? When you think of like the 54 Strat, the 58, 59 Les Paul, the 80 Charvels, iconic instruments, what are the modern equivalents to that? 2000, 2010s, 2020s as a Silver Sky? The modern equivalents are tricky because what makes those guitars good were the artists and the albums that were used. So 54 Strat, you see, when you think of 54 Strat, I think of like Buddy Holly, something like that, right? And the 59 Les Paul, you see the same thing, right? You think of these artists. Same with 80 Charvels and Jacksons. You think of the artists, you think of a Charvel, you're thinking Eddie Van Halen, you think of Jackson, you think of Randy Rhoads. I mean, there are iconic players with iconic albums that make these guitars iconic. So the question is, in the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s, what are the iconic guitars? Well, those iconic guitars are missing from those iconic albums. So the question I would ask you back, and anybody here, is what albums, 2000, 2010, 2020s, are so iconic? What guitar players are so iconic that their albums are, going to change somebody forever? And again, younger people are going to have a much different, obviously opinion of this, of course, Gary. But that's the way I look at that. I don't think of the guitar itself. I think guitars are pretty much not important. It's the players that made them important. Without Hendrix, do you care about a Strat? I mean, you could say, yeah, because of Jeff Beck. Yeah, because of Clapton, right? That's my whole point is I think artists make the guitars important. And even more so important is the albums that they're on. And that's what moves that forward. So I once was talking to the Paul Reed Smith guys, Paul Reed Smith. This is like 2009, and I was talking about the fact that this is my philosophy, right? That people don't care about the guitar. They don't care about. They don't even care about the artist. They care about the song. The song is everything. Think of this. Everything is for the song, in service of the song. The artist is there to make the song. The guitar is there to make the song. The amp is there to make the song. Everything is there for the song. Without a song, who gives a crap about any of this? If you saw a guy walking down the street or a gal walking down the street and you're like, oh, they're really good at guitar, you're like, cool. Right? It's the song that makes it amazing. And so talking to the PRS guys 2009, I said, that's my theory. And then therefore, if the song is the thing that's important, then why we care about an artist is the same. And I love this analogy. I've used it many times. I'm at a restaurant. The food is amazing. And you're like, I'd like to say thank you to the chef. And the chef comes out and you say, hey, this was an amazing meal. I want to thank you. Now think about this. I didn't give a rat's ass about the chef 20 minutes before I got there, right? But this meal, I got to know who made this meal. It's so good. And they come in and I go, this meal is amazing. And now I care about this person because of what they've created. And then in that discussion, they say, oh, I use, a Japanese knife and a special pan and I sear the butter this way. And I use the unsalted butter, not the salted butter. And I get the tomatoes down the street at the farmer's market. And now all those ingredients matter to me. Everything now matters because it's in service of this meal. It's connected. And I think that's how a song works. I love this song, so who created this song? This guitar player. I really love this guitar player. What does this guitar player use? He plays a Strat, or he plays a Les Paul. I keep saying he, but you understand what I mean. She plays an Ibanez. She uses this pedal. And now that's where the passion, the drive, that's where the gear acquisition nuts comes from, is this, you're connected to it. So anyways, and I think without that element, no guitars are the iconic 59 Les Paul, the 54 Strat, the 62 Strat, whatever you want to say, right? That's what they're all missing. Here's a good example. Here's a really great example. A Parker guitar. I can name I could name 2 or 3 artists that I absolutely love. Adrian Belew. I have a white Parker Fly because Dave Navarro had a white Parker Fly, and I just loved it. And I like the way he plays, and I like, when he was with the Chili Peppers, I liked him when he was with Jane's Addiction, and I love these guitar players, but I'm not even sure they use them in any of their actual recordings. And that would be a much different feeling, because then that really connects it. So if you like this clip and you'd like to watch another one, you can click right here. And if you want to see the entire episode of the podcast, you can click right there. As always, thank you for your time and know your gear.